Welcome back to Sportsbeat. Today is February 22nd. It's Tuesday, but it's all twos, so that's fun. The last time this will happen till March 3rd, 2033. They talking about it earlier. So we are recording episode I have no idea, and we are back at the My Little Falls podcast studio. As always, I'm joined by the man who needs no introduction, our producer, Dave Warner. What's going on?
Maybe it's 32.
32. I've lost track.
I'm close.
It's
been so long.
Your number is, I'm going to put it in here so I can remember for next week.
I don't know. Let me look it up.
Okay.
I'll look it up, but I do track it.
Yeah. Well, better you than me.
Yeah.
It's been a while. How are you?
It's been
a couple of months.
Yeah. No, I think it was October.
Better part of a half a year. Wow, time does fly, doesn't it? Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a little medical issue there.
Yeah.
Down for the count for a few months, and just last week started doing podcasts again. So
nice.
Yeah.
Good to be getting back.
Yeah. Actually, I had fun last week. Monday, I had Tiffany, and she's a hoot to have, and then I had Scott. Scott gave me this little banner back here yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. So, no, that was fun. And so it was good. I enjoy podcasting.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it. And so
fun break up in the week.
Yeah.
That's why I've always done it. Everybody's like, well, what are you doing? It's enjoyable. It's fun. It keeps me, breaking the monotony, I guess.
And I actually watched some real sporting events.
Yes, you did. As we were talking, as you got home and everything, we're watching our Cowboys and how disappointing and disgusting.
Yeah, there's that.
Longhorns. Yeah. I get it.
And then I watched some AHL. Yeah, I watched the Comets.
Yeah.
I actually watched the Daytona 500. I know you're
nice.
I did that for you.
Awesome. We do talk about that.
I figured you might.
I was up at camp. Our diocese does a youth retreat, and every year they do. It's a great event. Sunshine. It's up in Greenwich. It used to be in Cooperstown when Beaver Cross was up there, and so I was up there, and I may or may not have been checking in on my phone and watching some clips of the third stage of that just to see. And we'll talk about that. It looked like a great race. I missed all the extras and a couple crashes, but looked like it was good overall. Rookies are coming up, so
rookies did well.
And while you were out, was able to get through what a hell of a semester at college. I figured, it's no big deal. And I don't mind the writing papers so much, but I hate citations because I'm used to, I would just, if I'm, Dave Warner, Dave Warner talks about it, My Little Falls, and I reference the citation in the paper. And then I've got to go back and cite it. And one of the professors is extremely critical about how if you don't have a comma instead of a period in your citation. So I'm just like, okay, it's going to cost me 10 points for this paper. I'm shooting for the 90. All I'm doing is trying to pass. So, but we got through the semester. So
that's good.
Good to be back. So we're going to jump right into our press box. The same kind of thing here. It's just me and Dave today. Going to try to get some guests here in a couple weeks, and we'll do our usual commercial in between. So high school. Right in the middle of high school sectional basketball, and we'll jump right into that. The regular season ended a few weeks ago, and the first round of playoffs took place over the weekend, and we got some local scores. They were all over the page. A lot of local teams still in it, which is awesome. Starting off in girls, Mount Markham beat Herkimer 65-54. Frankfort Schuyler beat Sandy Creek 50-47. Oriskany beat Stockbridge Valley 40-35. New York Mills beat Alex Bay 34-27. Jordan Elbridge beat Clinton 56-36, unless I got that wrong because it says it's 363, and that's a really, really good score, and they didn't lose at that point. And Dodgeville beat Beaver River 57-53. And then over on the boys basketball side.
What? You don't have the girls in there? The Little Falls girls?
No, it wasn't. I even checked
They won Saturday.
I know that.
Yeah. And I don't remember that score, and I should. But, folks, we will look it up, and I will get it for you.
There you go.
Before I'll search my phone here in a second. But go ahead.
Go. And then over on boys, and I don't have Little Falls for them either, so WKTV didn't put them in. I looked at
bastards.
I look at WKTV Section 3. I know.
They're going to hear from somebody.
One media outlet's about to contact another media outlet how bad they were.
No.
We got Whitesboro beat Camden. Oh, this is on the boys' side. Whitesboro beat Camden 56-36. Mount Markham beat Pulaski 67-43. Adirondack beat Onondaga 58-49. Herkimer beat Cato. I couldn't find that score, and I should know because Herkimer's my team. I know they won. Little Falls girls.
Little Falls girls won 63 to 39 over Jordan Elbridge Eagles, and the boys fell
Yep.
53 to 47, and the Marcellus Mustangs
Yep.
is who beat them. Both good games, good kids out there.
Yep.
Pretty exciting. Had my wife there because she's still got the leash on me, worried about the health issues, and so we get in the car, and she's like,
Where are you going?
If they just start passing more, I said, this is like the third basketball game of your life you've ever seen, and you're an expert. All of a sudden, you should have heard it. It's like she went to the first Diamond Dogs game, and she's like, my dogs. I said, your dogs? You've been in one game. What are you talking about? Your dogs?
You got a hot dog? No. It was like what was it? Ben Stiller was on Jimmy Fallon last night. Last night, and he was talking about how he always tries to avoid the Olympics. And then he goes in, and his wife was watching it, and he's like, he's totally invested in snowboarding, and he nailed it. And he did his little comic shtick with Fallon, and it was funny, and I'm totally invested in Mick Morris. How I couldn't? I need to go petition the IOC for better judging. So that was funny. Gotta love it.
Yeah, it's no, they girls. That's their 21st win with no losses.
Yep.
And the boys had been 17-3 prior to that.
They're good teams.
So yeah, good teams, and heartbreaking loss for the boys. But girls play tomorrow night, which is Wednesday night at 6 p.m.
Yep, and Munger, what a consummate professional! What a great coach!
I know.
I remember my favorite Pam Munger story that I've got that doesn't have to do directly with high school basketball is one of my best friends, Lexi Johnson. I actually think I've said this on one of the previous episodes. We went down to Gus Macker in Norwich. And I just went there for the day, and the Chobani truck was there. I'm like, oh, this is great. I was a fat kid. I'm like, I'm just going to chow down a Chobani while it's 90 degrees outside. It was a bad life decision. And I go in, and they're doing Gus Macker's 3-versus-3 tournament. And they're right in the middle of the street, bunch of courts set up. It's a great event. And there's Pam Munger just balling out.
Talking to your mic a little bit better there. You got it down somehow. You can.
I put it down. Okay.
I don't know what you did with it. You did.
If
going
I knew
crazy there.
If I knew what I did.
You were drifting off on me.
Oh, I do that at the best of times anyway.
Yeah.
And she's just balling out with her team and everything. And there were a couple girls from the high school teams around here that had a couple teams in there, and they did very well. And she's over on the side coaching, and it's just awesome to see. So,
well, I got one of the famous Pam Munger hugs. Just about sucked the life out of me.
Wow.
Oh my God. Because she's so glad to see me back. She grabbed me and hugged me. I was like, oh, I can't breathe.
Yeah, now you got it.
I have problems breathing already, but this is far worse.
All of a sudden, the button, Debs comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The leash is activated.
Sorry.
The semifinals, as Dave kind of said, are starting tonight and going into tomorrow. And then finals are at the SRC Arena at OCC over the next week or so. So that'll be cool to see. Obviously, we got a lot of teams that are still moving on. So next week, we'll probably report that some of the teams are doing good. And unfortunately, I'm going to guess some of the teams aren't.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
I know Herkimer is actively, I think it's close to time, or it will be at the end of by the time we're done recording. They're playing Tully. They played Cato, and now they're back out to Tully.
Okay.
And Tully's number one. But talking with Chris Ezzo last night, breaking it down, looking at it, there's always a chance, right? Any given day, and who shows up, and they're the number one seed, they could be arrogant, and if the boys play a perfect game, but and that's with everybody. So
yeah, no, it's true. It's more true at the kind of high school and collegiate level.
Oh yeah,
emotions swing a game very quickly. Pros, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah,
and pros, there's reason.
And I've seen a couple of games this year, and again, Herkimer, just because I do the score table there. You'll watch either team, Herkimer or whoever the opponent was, and chucking some threes, and they're not going in. And all of a sudden, it's the middle of the first quarter, ton of time left, but you can just see total deflation.
Yeah.
Or it's the other way; they shoot and they get hot, and then all of a sudden, everything's working, and the ball's dropping for the rest of the day for you. So, good times.
Good times.
Jumping over to college, Herkimer College men's basketball are set to face off MVCC. That's going to happen tonight. Herkimer earned a home game. They finished third in the rankings, which is awesome. That earns them also a first-round bye, so this is their first game in the playoffs. And over on the women's side at HCCC, they finished fourth overall, which I believe also earned a first-round bye and home court advantage. So great to see both of those teams. And congratulations to Matt Hazard. He's first season head coach of the women's team, and they're in playoffs. They looked like they had a really good record. They finished fourth overall, so having a home game.
Good.
And obviously, go Herkimer against, especially on the men's side versus MVCC. Big game. Always loved that. And anytime MV was coming into town, it was, no matter what it was always the game. Students packed the house and you defend home court. And if you were away, you got a car, man, you're going. So not too far. Syracuse men's basketball sucks. I just don't know how else to say that any other way. It's been an absolute disappointing season. Chris Ezzo and I were able to, his uncle used to work or still works somehow with Drexel, and got tickets to the Drexel game earlier in the season. And Drexel's not a powerhouse by any means, and Drexel almost won the game. So, it's just pretty disappointing. I don't even know if they'll make it to the dance. They're always on Lenardi's, bubble team out, first team in, and it's disgusting. So simple. They don't know if it's August or Tuesday, and they're inconsistent. So
August or Tuesday.
Yeah. Like hey, Boeheim, go back to picking some winners and get a better team plan and try not just 2-3 zone. It got old. Anyway, over on the women's team, as we talked about a couple of months back, they were hit with the scandal with former coach Quentin Hillsman, and they have struggled over the season. But it looks like, in watching a couple of games, they're definitely having more fun, which is half the battle some days. They got 11-15 overall record, but they're 4-12 in the conference, and that's kind of weighing them down a little bit. Also, Hillsman leaves the university and also left his deputy AD position. So last week they hired Kristen Ellsby to fill that post. So in addition to being the AD, she will serve as the school's senior woman administrator, a designation for the highest ranking woman in the athletic department. And she also is overseeing the girls basketball team and program. I'm sure there's some reporting because of what had happened. She's also going to serve with Title IX. She comes from the University of New Orleans, and she was at Wake Forest and Chompin State before that. So, we get some stuff there. Reading that was still pretty disgusting with how he had a program there. And I still find it, especially in today's day and age, the way it happened. They never said anything. They just exited. And it was a mass exodus. They lost like 18 players over 2 seasons, and some of them were high-star recruits. So, and one of their players, name escapes me, got injured over last week. It was last week, and is going to be out for the season. So they're taking some. But you know what? Get a new coach in there, and they definitely look like they're having fun. So, build on that, because that's what you need. And going to talk about NCAA before we talk college football quick is they totally took the easy way out last week, not expanding college playoffs. And the reason that they said was because TV contracts are still out there and they haven't expired yet, which I think is a little horse crap, but that's just me. So we're not going to really have any expansion until 20 and 25. College World screaming for at least 8 games. We saw that this year. It's kind of funny because I think Ohio State fans, it makes me happy when they're crying, but I don't know if it would have changed anything with the Michigan game. It's sad. They're toothless and spineless, but what more can you say for the NCAA? And they can come after me all they want. I don't care. Speaking of college football, and I know we haven't talked about it, but Georgia, Bama for the title game, dogs. It was just their year. They look great all year. Good game overall. And, I'm a Bama fan, but didn't have much hope going in there. And I know I shouldn't root against Saban, but it was Georgia's year. They were just a powerhouse. So Bama's leading in the polls for preseason coming up. They picked up a bunch of top 10 recruits, even a couple kids from the Georgia team. And I didn't know this until I was listening to Paul Feinbaum the other day, driving back from Greenwich. And I don't know how the hell I missed it. They had players that won the national championship in Georgia. There's 2 of them that he kept naming, and it escapes me at the moment. They're leaving Georgia to go to Bama after they just won a national championship.
Maybe they want to win one over in Bama.
Yeah,
Two state champions.
They look at it. I know Georgia's definitely losing a bunch of kids, and it's always harder to replace some of them. So I don't know. Maybe they're seeing the writing on the wall. They want to add another ring to their college career before they make the pro jump, or
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your Longhorns going to do? We're going to have to get your son on here at one point, so hopefully they can figure that out.
Yeah, he'd be a good guest on that. He'd go on forever.
It just and you think with SEC ball that, and I get it. They've got a bunch of people that have carouseled in and out on the coaching tree. They just can't get it. And the worst part is that they've got the TV network. They've got all of the extras that don't exist in some of the places, even in the SEC. Bama doesn't have Georgia doesn't have a TV station. They do, but you know what I mean.
Are they going to be able to keep that? Did they ever decide that?
I don't know, because they're very tight-lipped because they're not talking anything until the contracts are up for the expansion. What they did say, and that's being held, and a bunch of Notre Dame fans and kind of BYU, but I don't think BYU worries as much, is if you finish, if they expand, let's just hypothetically say to 8, and Notre Dame finishes and they do a first-round bye for 1, 2, or however that works out for the games below, if you finish 1 or 2, they're not going to grant you the bye. You immediately are reseeded to 3rd, and you have to play a game because you're an independent school, not part of a conference. So, and I just think if they're going to do anything, it should be a minimum of 6, get all the power conference, and that one Cinderella team like Cincinnati had a great year this year. Nobody ever expected them to be in the hunt. I don't, they get up there, but they played, Alabama, and even if they had played Georgia, it would the end result would have been the same.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked to see Michigan versus Alabama a little bit more than Michigan versus Georgia, because I think it would have, I think, made Bama a little bit more prepared. I don't know if it would have mattered overall, because I think Georgia would have won anyway, because they're just rock solid this year. But it's going to be interesting because all these little TV networks, like the Notre Dame thing with NBC, is becoming a real hot topic that keeps getting mentioned. Like, how is that going to factor in? Because they're in Indy, but they want in, but they're creating rules to force them in way they want it. And now the other part of it that comes into play is by 2025, it's going to be fully established that the recruits that are getting drafted or getting recruited out of high schools now are going to be fully fledged into the program where they can use their likeness. So what is the money that they're going to give the athletes? There's no regulation on that. So the NCAA is quickly turning into a big shit show.
Yeah.
Not that we should be surprised by that at all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, that is there. If you want to do a commercial break, you want to just keep going?
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, let's do a commercial break. Why not?
We'll come back here and talk about the Comets and some of the stuff in the professional world.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes store, listen to our country music streaming radio station, or sign up for a weekly newsletter. Stop by today at mylittlefalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
Commercial again, Jesus.
you can't take it.
Yeah, I need. That's why I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I'm like, let me just check it out to make sure I haven't missed anything. And Jesus, I guess I did. We'll get to that afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, so professional Comets have had a great season so far. Heading into the final stretch of the regular season there. They hold first place in the North Division, and they're doing pretty well overall. At the beginning of the season, they broke the AHL record for longest win streak. Is that what that?
Yeah.
I just realized that's what that is.
Yeah. That's what it is. I can do a Vanna White.
For those of you who can't see, Scott from Marty's Illegal Stick has brought a AHL Utica Comets little thing showing that
he's bringing swag that he puts out. Comets shirts and stuff that he lays out on the table here. It looks very festive.
Do you confiscate them afterwards?
I wanted to.
There you go. Swag's not cheap, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
What are you going to do? Some hiccups along the way for the Comets overall. They're pretty solid, and they look like they're going to have a pretty successful campaign. I mean, obviously, once they get into playoffs, it's a different ball game. I will note here, again, I mentioned him before, Chris Ezzo, good friend, but he lives in Central New York, but he's from Syracuse, so he's a big Syracuse Crunch fan, and they're currently sitting at 5th place, and that gives me a great amount of joy to say that. So, this is America, and everybody is clearly entitled to a wrong opinion. So, Chris, you continue being a Syracuse Crunch, and I will continue reminding you that you are not as good as the Utica Comets. So, thanks for listening, buddy. I'm going to have Chris on here in a couple weeks to talk Diamond Dogs. I'll have to rub that one back in, too. NFL, the season's over now. Congratulations to the Rams, including, again, Scott Kinville over at Marty's Illegal Sticks. He's been Rams fan since before they were in St. Louis the first time. So LA to St. Louis too. I never really understood his LA connection.
I don't understand that whole West Coast thing for him.
And I've asked a couple of times, and I never really get the straight answer. So at some point, I'll have to nail him down on that. And I will say too is that in talking about everything when Rams were moving from St. Louis back to LA, I told Scott, because at that point the NFL said they were doing the NFL Network out there as well. So they've got SoFi Stadium, which is right there, but across the parking lot or near there, they've got the West Coast, branch, if you will, of the NFL Network. And I said, listen, everybody's going to want to be there. Everybody was talking about, going to Vegas and everything like that. But, you go to Vegas if you want to party. You go to a team that has connections if you want to win. And if you're out at the Rams or you're in any team around LA, you've got the access to the second biggest media market in the world, the United States, and probably someplace in the world, it's got to be top 10. It just has to be. You've got a good team. They now have a Super Bowl banner to hang.
Yeah.
You've got the ability to be in LA, which is warmer climate, brand new stadium, brand new practice facility. And I said, if everything trends good within their first 5 years of being out there, they'll be at the Super Bowl, because they had all those draft picks. They had young coaching, different kind of setup. So
and you can live cheap there. You
Yeah.
can just pitch a tent anywhere you want.
Yeah, true. Parking lot, put it after the practice squads are done for the day. They go and camp out on the field.
Yep.
Sticking in the NFL, Bills fans, I just have to say something. Bills, you guys had a great run. The Bills fans of the 2020s have turned into the Dallas fans of the 90s, because the game was not even yet over. It was counting down from that horrible 12 or 13 seconds, whatever the hell it was, against the Chiefs. And people were saying, next year is our year. The game and your season is ending, but not over yet. And you're saying, next year we're going to win the Super Bowl. And I have gotten picked on as a Dallas fan my entire life of saying that's the mantra in Dallas. The torch has been passed.
I don't say
Buffalo.
that. I don't say that.
I haven't said that in my entire life. What the hell are they talking about? Because there's never been any way that we have any ability to say that. Dave and I are both Dallas fans. We've communicated a little bit as we watch some of the games, and I don't know what the hell they're doing. Mike McCarthy.
We can't repeat some of those.
Yeah, you bet your ass we can't. Mike McCarthy's got to go. Let's start there. I know Jerry Jones is holding on and doesn't like to be wrong. Mike McCarthy's got to go. He's not the answer. You had Aaron Rodgers and you couldn't win a Super Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers with a stacked offense and decent defense and couldn't win a Super Bowl. Get rid of Mike McCarthy. Give it to Kellen Moore, since you kept him there for a ton of money, and move on. Let's start there and let's do 2022, 2023 and see where we are at the end of that. I don't know if you have anything to add on the Dallas Cowboys.
I gave you all my commentary.
Yeah, and we're not going to
repeat that.
And Goodell's looking at I believe it was a 7-year contract extension, which pains me because I'm not a Goodell fan anyway. But when the owners are looking at it, they're worried about one thing and one line, and that's the bottom line. And he's putting money, even with all of the controversies and everything that have happened around the NFL. They're still making money. Viewership is still up. It was still, I think more people probably watch this because you had teams that aren't traditionally in the Super Bowl, and also a really good halftime show for my generation. So I know. Sorry, I had to.
So why did you do that?
Sorry, I had to, man. It was right there. Low hanging fruit.
That was the clearest generational split on a halftime show that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I'm sure.
The older generations or younger didn't get it and didn't like it. But the kids of the 90s.
Oh, we were, the whole thing, we're having
my
a great
son
time.
goes, Dad, that's my music. You don't understand.
I saw one thing. It was somebody who was in a control booth was sitting there as Snoop Dogg was getting on stage, and he's just toking it up right there, right inside the little houses.
Well, it's California. I mean,
And it's Snoop. Let's be real. He has somebody on his staff.
I saw that photo.
He has somebody on his staff who gets paid like $50,000, $60,000 a year, and they have one job, and that's to make sure that the blunts are rolled at all times while he's around. I'm not kidding. So
how do I get that job?
That's all. So here's something for you. You're an NFL guy, and in football, especially Texas connection there. I saw something that was kind of a meme joking, but I'm like, this is a really cool idea. So the USFL is coming back, and the XFL is set to come back next year, and it was an XFL, but it could be either one, and they're coming back online. So the thing is kind of like what soccer does over in Europe. So whoever places last in the NFL, have them do like a relegation game against whoever wins the championship from, let's just say, the XFL.
Right.
If the NFL team loses, they play in the XFL for the following year. I thought, because the biggest complaint I've heard in terms of like operational end of the game is teams just tank. Look at the Jags, look at the Jets.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, and you know, you'd assume that the Jets would probably win against an XFL team, but do you know that?
Don't know. I liked the idea. I don't think that there's any way in hell it will ever happen because just logistically, there's 9 billion things connecting points, and it won't happen. But idea-wise, I looked at that and I was like,
because they make it. And Scott said, you know, the media market, you know, how much they're paying the players, you know, the pot of money that they have as an XFL team is not even able to shake a stick at an NFL. Yeah. And he was talking about some of that, and I'm thinking, you know, he's right, but soccer makes it work. They've got usually they're the lower end teams that are being paid less anyway. Yeah. But it'd be interesting to see if something like that.
At some point, if any of those leagues, even the NFL, needs some kind of a ratings boost, to have some kind of a special game like that, where you pit a team from one league against a team from the other league, however they figure it out, might be interesting, might draw fans.
Yeah.
They're always looking for a way to expand the season.
Yeah.
Like the NFL did this year. And so,
yeah,
you know,
it'd be interesting to see. And you know, and I've never understood why especially with the USFL or XFL, I get XFL why, because it's Vince McMahon and Vince McMahon's an ass. But you would figure that the USFL, especially being the spring ball kind of mantra, that they would be endorsed a little more by the NFL, because even if they were getting like a 10% residual, it's off season anyway.
Yeah.
So
how does it hurt the NFL? I will say their commercials to draw your attention to the games were outstanding. They were Super Bowl level commercials as far as interest and funny and, you know, like, oh, right. You know, the miss your football kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see, because I think the especially the USFL is definitely got their in order, if you know what I mean. And they're moving in the right direction. The XFL was bought by the group with The Rock. We'll see what they do. If they try to put on a show, it's not going to do much, but I'll give them a chance again. Why not? Jumping over to Major League Baseball, who the hell knows? That's the best I got for you. I listened to a little ESPN coming in yesterday to see if there's anything in Tim Kirchin. They're talking. The contracts are out there. Who the hell knows what they're doing? Pitchers and catchers were supposed to report a couple weeks ago. Still not there. A simple answer there, and I know it's the easy answer, but Rob Manfred's got to go. He doesn't really have the respect for the game, which is disappointing because he's from New York. But it's time for Manfred.
You think everybody from New York has respect for baseball? Is that what you're implying?
They should. I mean, Cooperstown's here.
Yeah, well, true.
But he's got to go.
When did they have the last strike? When was that?
Was it the 80s? Was
it
it
the 80s?
Was it my lifetime? I might have been a kid. 90s?
Well, I guess you were alive.
I was born.
I don't think it was the 90s. You were born in 90?
Yeah, I'm 32.
God, the time flies. But anyway,
were you having fun?
I didn't realize not the last year.
Yeah, true.
I used to watch baseball all the time. And when they had that strike, I stopped. And it's literally been, I would want to say I haven't watched a full game since then.
Really?
Yeah. Not a full game.
Even including postseason World Series?
Nope.
Wow.
It turned me off so much. And I hope they're not going down the same path, because, you know, a lot of diehard sports fans, and you want to see your team play.
Yep.
And go on strike, it's like, okay, I'm not going to do this.
And when it's right now, you know, it's preseason, there's some flexibility that's there. But if all of a sudden the season rolls on and they're throwing, you know, AA, AAA guys up there again and doing like the replacement kind of thing, Keanu Reeves runs on the field. I don't know if the old timer baseball.
No.
I mean, look at the Baseball Hall of Fame this year. Some of the people that should be in the hall aren't in the hall.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So
everything, just money messes up everything. It's going to mess up.
There's no love in the game anymore. It's love for my pocketbook.
No.
Yeah, it's sad. NASCAR opened up the season this weekend with the Daytona 500. We saw rookie Austin Cindric. I got to say that slowly because I screwed it up earlier when I was talking with people at
Probably
work.
called him Cedric, right?
I actually think I said it was Cedric.
Oh, okay.
Cedric.
Right.
I gave him 2 first names.
Right.
And he took the victory there. It's his first year as a full-time driver in the slot for Team Penske that was vacated by Brad Keselowski. He went to Roush Racing last year, and it's only his 8th career start. I think it's cool. I mean, you know, every time when you think of NASCAR, you think of the older guys helping out the younger guys.
Yeah.
And then this year we see Bubba Wallace finished second and Chase Briscoe finished third. So the rookies are definitely, at least this year, opening up with a little bit of power there. 23 years old.
And he drove smart at the end. I mean, he made a couple of smart moves on the track. So it was interesting to watch.
Yeah. And I saw there was like 40 laps to go. And then I picked up the last, 2 coming down. Bubba Wallace's team, he was pissed, and that's the headline or something like that.
I know. Did you see that interview at the end?
Yeah, he was. But Austin did a great job. He boxed. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You got the first. You're in first place. You got to box him in.
Yep.
Or box him out, and that's what he did.
He did a good job.
Yep. It's going to be interesting too. Somebody was talking about when you win the Daytona 500, your car goes in the museum for a year.
Oh, really?
So now he's got to race the remainder of the season on a backup car, and he's a new driver.
Oh.
But Penske's got. I mean,
Yeah, he's got him covered. Yeah.
No, not a problem. So as we get going back here with our podcast, we're going to have to check in with Tyler Head down in Atlanta, see how that new track is coming along. There's been some videos posted where they ripped the track out and packed it all back in and paved it, and all the stuff that has gone into that. And they're coming up with a race here in the end of the season, and then we'll also.
Well, I want to hear him talk about the cars too when he thinks about the new cars.
Oh, I'm sure they've gotten I'm sure, and we'll have to catch up with Kyle Stevens. He's down in Carolina as well. He does all of his photography stuff. I bet Kyle will be a little bit more forthcoming with his.
He might be.
Yeah. A lot of people learn. That was a big topic too of going in. And a lot of people aren't a fan. And I don't get why we're changing some of these things. I mean, I get the moving it forward and all that, but if it's not broken, don't fix it.
I say put them back out on the beach. Forget all this crap. Let's go back to their roots.
Go put a spoiler on the back of a car you just brought off a lot.
Exactly, and get out on the beach and race.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So we'll have to check in with them as we get going here and as the NASCAR season opens up, and catch up with both of them, see what they're up to. And I know I saw a grouping of them. They went out to the LA Coliseum for whatever the pre-season event was out there. They filled in the Coliseum with dirt, and everybody was complaining about it, but it looked like they had a great time. So awesome. Personally, for me, I'm looking forward to the Formula One season. Over there, we've got some new cars as well, new rules and old rivalries. The Team Red Bull and Team Mercedes are already trading barbs, and not a single car has taken the grid yet. The schedule was just announced officially a few weeks back ago, maybe a month or so ago now. And U.S. is getting 2 races this year. There's the one that's always down in Texas for the Race of the Americas.
And the new track in Austin there. Man, that is nice.
Looks great. And then they're doing another one in Miami. So I'm like, okay, let me see how much tickets were. I'm going to see if I can't escape to Miami for I think it's the first week in May.
You who are complaining about $92 a month for health insurance.
Yes, correct. And looked at the tickets, and it's $2,000 a piece for the grandstands for the cheap shit.
So that would be insurance to cover how many years?
A lifetime, probably. So I think I'm going to be watching that one from my house, and I'll get a decent breakfast, and I'll save $1,990.
You could tailgate. For a lot less than $2,000.
Yeah, but if I'm going to go to a Formula One race, I want to hear the cars, not something in the.
Well, you'll hear them out in the parking lot.
That's true.
Yeah.
Loud as hell. Olympics just wrapped up. Norway finished first overall in the Winter Olympics with 16 gold medals, 8 silver and 13 bronze. Germany was in second with 12 gold and 27 medals overall. China finished third with 9 gold medals and 15 overall. And the U.S., even though they had 25 medals, they only had 8 gold, so they finished fourth. Don't know if you watched any, but the Russian figure skater drama with that Kamila Villeneuve or whatever. I mean, here's my question. She's 15 years old. She can't get up in the morning without somebody handling her in the team because she's a minor. And after all of the bullshit that they've been through with the Russian Federation over the last 10 years, 20 years, every single one of her coaches for putting her in that position should be fired. Because I've got to guarantee if it's I can't guarantee, but I've got to guess rather that she goes into the training center. Okay, here's your morning meds.
Yeah.
She's and I feel horrible for her because she's a 15-year-old star. She just wants to skate, and she said that. And these adults are putting her in that position, and they got to take the blame. She's a minor.
I am proud to admit
you didn't watch any.
I did not watch 1 second of the Olympics.
I believe
you know why.
Yeah, I know why.
Yeah,
I know why. And it just it really does break my heart for her because she went from being in that niche of figure skating to be an international demigod overnight. All these people online, you see that American that went to who's Chinese that went over there, and she's getting all that hate. It just get away from your friggin' keyboards.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a big curling fan, so
You are?
I
Really?
am. I love watching curling. It's like it's an addiction, I think. I've gone up to
It would have to be.
I've gone up to the Clinton Curling Club when some of them are doing like tournaments up there. Just it's a
Really?
fun afternoon to get away. It's one of my weird things. I've got a bunch of them. You know that.
I just added that to the list.
Yeah, that's okay. Sweden,
Okay.
Congratulations to the men's from the Sweden team. They picked up their gold medal there. It was a really fun game to watch. And then I believe it was the British team that won gold for the women's. Disappointed U.S. didn't do well, but so my favorite Olympic story. This one just had me laughing because of how much
Into your mic. Tim.
into my mic.
Yeah.
So
Either raise it up or
yeah, we'll
you
try.
could. There you go.
Now you're gonna hear that click, click, click,
That's
click.
all right.
It's all right. Nobody cares.
There you are.
So it's kind of like the proverbial FU and how it all turned out. So Kaylee Humphries is a former Canadian bobsled member. She reported that she was being harassed by a former coach in Canada. And after reporting, she was like pushed off the team. So she's already married to U.S. bobsledder Travis Armbruster. So what did she do? She came to America. She became a full citizen. She joined Team USA. She won gold in the women's monobob, which is a new event that was added for this Olympics. It's basically a single-person bobsled event. Elena Myers, who's also on Team USA, took silver. And where was Canada? They got the bronze medal. The ceremony was hilarious because you could clearly see the shots that are there. Very few of the team members walked up and said, congratulations, because Aaron Hamlin's always talked about like the niche. Everybody in Olympics, especially winter, knows each other, and thought that was funny. But you could definitely cue up the Taylor Swift "Bad Blood" song for that one because it was funny to watch. And she took the high road. She said, she appreciated her time in Canada. It wasn't for her anymore. She found a better spot in Team USA, and she came in. She won a gold for us.
Yep.
So that's cool. So.
She got here in an 18-wheeler, didn't she?
Ooh, maybe the bobsled was in there. Jesus,
I hit the wrong button.
That's
I
all
knew
right.
it was one of those over there.
That's all right.
I was thinking, going to find which one. All right, there it was. I was looking for that.
There we go. People are going to wonder what the hell we're doing here
We did. Well,
if they haven't already.
yeah.
So so moving forward, next week we're really going to try to touch on some of the Diamond Dogs and talk about all the moves that they've made in the offseason. Season's coming up pretty quick. It'll I hope we're not in full spring. It'd be nice to get a couple more snowstorms, but get spring here a little bit earlier. I know I got a bunch of outdoor work to do, so it'll be nice to get.
Don't talk about snowstorms. We got one coming Thursday night. Come on.
I know, but if that's the last one, I'd be okay with it.
This is February.
Yeah,
this
that's
is not
true.
going to be the last one. All right.
Okay, I'm trying to do wishful. I'm trying to be optimistic.
Yeah, all right.
The ray of sunshine on a cloudy day.
Yeah,
So we're going to get, whenever we do that, we're going to talk to Chris Ezzo. He's been talking to me about Diamond Dogs all year, getting ready for their summer campaign coming up. Also going to try to get Tyler and Kyle, maybe one or both on here to do some NASCAR talk about, everything we already talked about already and get their perspective on the season, what's going on. So that's over the next few weeks. And then this summer, as we kind of hinted at last summer, totally hit the ground running with the Diamond Dogs with content, meeting the team, building some out more of that relationship and partnership that we started last year. So that'll be good.
It'll be good.
Yeah, good to be back. So lots going on. We got the final week of basketball, so we'll talk about that. Spring sport outlooks. And I know all the high school spring sports are gearing up. It seems excited to get back to a normal end of that for at least the spring and baseball seasons and. Whatever else is
outside. A lot of
outside.
people were excited to see me on the sideline shooting basketball, so that was good.
Good.
Yeah.
And being outdoors, the outdoors are for a baseball do you good.
Yeah.
Well, not the rain maybe, but
No, it's all right.
hopefully we can, do that. So stay with us for our 2.0 that we're doing here. And as always, players and coaches, please include us in your sports reporting at Sportsbeat at mylittlefalls.com. For updates and highlights throughout the week, find us at our Facebook at Sportsbeat with Rob Drumm. For all of your local news, sports, and our podcast home, find us at mylittlefalls.com. For Rob Drumm here with Dave Warner, we're happy to be back with you, and we'll talk to you next week.